Hi, I'm Iqbal. Today's video lesson is about using the present perfect. We use the present perfect when we talk about the past and the present. So let's find out more about this tense. I live in London and December is the quietest time for me. So I enjoy traveling around the world in December. Since I was a child, I love traveling. So I can say, I have traveled to Europe and Asia. I have been to many countries. Let's focus on the timeline. I traveled in the past, firstly to Europe and then to Asia. These two events are a part of my life, experience up to now. Let's focus on the sentence and answer the questions together. Did I travel at some point in my life? Yes. Do you know when I traveled? No. Is this experience with me now? Yes. So, what is the present perfect and when do we use the present perfect? The present perfect is a tense for something that happened in the past but has a result in the present. We use the present perfect to talk about actions and events from the past that have an impact or are important now. Let's look at another example. I traveled many countries and tried different food. However, Italy was the country I enjoyed the food the most. So how can I say this using the present perfect tense? I have eaten the most delicious food in Italy. Let's move on. How can you construct a sentence using the present perfect? Let's take a look at the first example again. I have traveled to Europe and Asia. We start the sentence with a subject, which is the pronoun I, followed by the helping verb to have in the present form. After that is the past participle of the verb travel. What about the different forms of the present perfect? Let's start with the singular forms. In the table, you can see the subject pronouns, which are I, you, he, she, and it. The subject pronoun is followed by the helping verb, to have. There are two forms of to have. They are have and has. The helping verb is followed by the past participle. Let's have a look at some examples. I have traveled. You have traveled. He has traveled. She has traveled. It has traveled. And here's some more examples. You have visited Italy. He has been to a safari. She has gone all around the world. What about the plural form of the present perfect? Let's take a look. In the table, you can see the subject pronouns, we, you, and they, followed by the helping verb have. The helping verb is followed by the past participle. Let's have a look at the table. We have traveled, you have traveled, they have traveled. And here's some more examples. We have done our homework. You have won a lot of matches. They have completed the task. In spoken English, we use the short form. Let's focus on the short form. I have becomes I've. So you remove the HA and replace it with an apostrophe continued with VE. So for you, we, and they, you use you've, we've, and they've. He has becomes he's. So you remove the HA and replace it with an apostrophe continued with S. Here are some examples. She's been to Spain. We've seen a lot of movies. What about the negative form of the present perfect? For example, I have not traveled to North Korea. From the example, you can see that we add not before the past participle. In the table, you can see how to make the negative form of the present perfect. I have not travelled. You have not travelled. He, she, it has not travelled. We have not travelled. You have not travelled. They have not travelled. Let's also have a quick look at the negative short form of the present perfect. I've not travelled. You've not travelled. He's not travelled. She's not travelled. It's not travelled. We've, you've, they've not travelled. And here are a few examples. I've not visited Portugal. She's not met the manager yet. Now you know how to use the present perfect. Today we reviewed what is the present perfect tense and when can you use the present perfect tense, and also how we can use the present perfect singular, plural and negative forms. Thanks for watching today. See you later.